we get started with this video, guys, I was just wondering if you could be ever so nice to drop a like in this video and subscribe to my channel. You won't regret subscribing to my channel, as I produce gaming videos regularly, and I hope you will enjoy the video. So with that being said, let's just get right into the video. Hey, how's it going, bros? This is Gaming Tank from Gaming.4 Live, and today we'll be doing a comparison of the GameSir G3S, and I got the GameSir G3S right here, and the PlayStation 4 controller. And please do note that the PlayStation 4 controller is of the second generation. I'm not including the first generation one, so that's a point to be noted. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So physically, they have the same layout as you can see right here, and according to the weights that I can feel, the PlayStation 4 controller is heavier than this one, and PlayStation controller does not have any gloss on the top. The GameSir G3S does have some gloss up here. I don't know if you can see that, but it is there. And in the PlayStation controller, the thumbsticks are all in gray, at least for the second generation one, and the background of the buttons are in gray also. All the buttons are in gray except for the controller itself, as you can see right here. Let that focus back in. There we go. So now taking a look at this, at the joysticks grips are black, but down here, as you can see, these are red, the bases of the joysticks, and the buttons are in full black. The gloss in this controller is up here, and on the D-pad there is gloss. Alright, and the buttons, these are a little bit glossy ones for the light purpose, I suppose that was the reason. And these are total plastic, and there's no gloss to them. Alright, so moving to the side, they look identical, pretty much identical. You can see the triggers are same, and there's no different texture here, like in a shape, but it does have a line going through here that changes a bit of color. So that's that. And instead of having the touchpad we got right here on the PlayStation 4 controller, this one has the turbo and the clear button. So that's one point to be noted. And from the top, there you go. One thing to be noted, that in the GameSir G3S controller, the L1 and R1 are wider, but less in length. And in the case of L2 and R2 too, in these, the triggers and the bumpers are wider as compared to the PlayStation 4 controller, and they're shorter than it. The triggers in this one are longer and a little bit thinner, as you can see, side-by-side comparison. And both do have a micro USB slot for charging it on the top, for charging the controllers from the top. And this GameSir G3S does not have any light bar on the top, as you can see. So in this, the home button is glowing, and the home button is just regular on the PlayStation side of things. So moving to the back, the shape of both controllers is pretty much identical, but the PlayStation 4 controller has a bump right here because of the addition of the light bar. You can see right here this bump, but this does not have any bump. It's just plain right here. And we get the different connection mode features or the button combinations on the back of this GameSir G3S controller, and we get some licensed kind of things on the back of the PlayStation 4 controller. So that's it. And according to the screws, they're pretty much identical. The GameSir G3S has the reset button right here on the top of the label. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little hole just nearby to my finger. Alright. And the reset button on the PlayStation DualShock 4 2nd generation is right here. There's not a screw. So for the screw part of things, there are 4 screws on the back of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there are 6 screws on the back of this. 1 here above, 2 above, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it has 6 screws on the back. And both the controllers don't feel cheap in the hand, but because of the weight, I prefer the PlayStation 4 controller. I don't know if you guys like a little bit weight in your controllers, but I prefer the PlayStation 4 controller in terms of weight. And this GameSir G3S does not have a speaker right here, and the audio jack is missing because it has to tell you about the different connection modes that it is in. That was necessary to be removed. As you can see right here, the Android, the Apple, the mouse mode, and the X input mode are all right here. And in the PlayStation, you got the slot for the external chat pad that you can apply on your controller, or you can hook it up to it. And the audio jack is there. So, talking about the grips, by the way guys, this is a detailed comparison, so I'm gonna have to go in the depths. So in terms of the bases of the joysticks, or the placement, what was that? God damn it. In terms of the placement, the holder bumps in this one are right here. So you can see right now, let that focus back in. Alright. These are here, the bumps. And on the PlayStation side of things, these come from a long way down, and they're stretching at this point, as you can see. So the GameSir G3S does not have a added light bar, but it does have illumination, as I can show you right here. It has illuminated keys. The PlayStation 4 controller lacks that feature, but it does have that light bar on the top. So that was pretty much it for the physical comparison. Now coming to the technical sides of things, they both have a pretty much identical battery, and both of them have a 18-hour battery life. The first generation of PlayStation 4 controllers had only 9 hours of battery life, but now these are pretty same. You can tell that. And I just turned off the lights of this controller. So alright, and in terms of connectivity, technical specs, these both use Bluetooth 4.0 and can be connected wired to their respective platforms. So that was pretty much it for the technical side. No, wait, and the PlayStation 4 controller has a motion sensor, but the GameSir G3S lacks that motion sensor. So that's one point to be noted, as you can tell right now. And in terms of connectivity, both can go many ways. And for example, the many ways I'm talking about is both can be connected to Android, and both can be connected to Android. And if you want to use the PlayStation 4 controller on your PC, you gotta use it wired, and it would only work correctly in the PlayStation Remote Play app on your PC. If you have that, it will work perfectly with it, but in different games, sometimes it does not respond. Yeah, it responds. It was only one time, I don't know why. It responds in many cases, and most of the cases, 99%. It responds in most of the cases, so, and the PlayStation 4 controller is mainly meant for using the Remote Play app on the PC that comes, and you can also use the GameSir G3S controller with the Remote Play app. And one more thing I wanted to point out in the physical department is that the triggers on the GameSir G3S controller are a little bit better than the PlayStation 4 controller, as these triggers have better resistivity to them, so you have to apply a little bit force to push them in, and that's a good thing if you are in cases of shooters, you're a FPS fan, and you use this controller on PS3, these have nice resistivity, and this will also help in racing games and many games like WWE, in which you have to press the R2 at the right time to reverse. So that's one thing to be noted. And these are not that resistible. They go down easily. Don't know why Sony made them like this, but it's alright. So this is pretty much it. And the compatibility slot, I already told you that it works with 4.0 Bluetooth. And the PlayStation 4 connects to PC via micro USB cable if you gotta connect it to the